Remember, you always have to have sum of the forces equals 0. You have to have the first part of the equation written like that. Sum of the forces equals 0. And then you can take this and flip that 1,000 to here. And these are my two equations. And what are my unknowns? I have tension as an unknown and that force PC that's an unknown. So what could you do mathematically? Eric, what would you do to solve this?
Get
Three different
FBC on
things.
its own side. and one
Okay,
side equals-
so solve for FBC in terms of T, right? Plug FBC into here and solve for T, and then come back and solve for FBC, right? One way, math way. Probably it takes a long time. Maybe not too long, but a little long. What's another way you could do it?
Tension.
Say it again?
Tension.
Okay, do the same, solve for tension and, oh, interesting, okay. So solve for tension here, solve for tension here, and then set them equal to 0. Good. I think it still probably would take about the same amount of time. What could you do with your calculator? There are two operations you could do on your calculator. System of equations. You could plug the two equations into your calculator, and then you press a button and you get the answers popped out. Okay? So I would suggest you do it that way. The other way on your calculator is using the matrix function of a calculator. So that's what I want to show you now. And the workshop, I don't remember which number, it's the 3D matrix workshop. I really want you to be comfortable setting up a matrix in your calculator. So this is the way we do it. Everybody over there okay where I am writing? Okay. So this is matrix A. This is matrix B. And this is matrix C. And now I'm going to use a different, I am going to use a lighter color because it's not as important. In this area right here, this is where equation 1 is. And this represents equation 2. And the two variables I'm solving for are T and FBC. How many of you are in Math 6? A few of you. Are you guys doing like solving for determinants and such with matrices yet, or way more than that? Okay. So you might be really comfortable with this stuff. Okay, so what we're looking at is, let's take equation 1 and we're going to substitute it in this line. So the coefficient of T, so this is really like, I'm going to make it it's a 2 by 2 matrix. There aren't really lines in there. The red isn't really supposed to be there. Okay, negative 0.4226 and negative 8660. So take a look at this. How I write this equation in here is negative 4226 times T minus 8660 times FBC is equal to what in that equation? It's equal to 0, right? So let's go around. Hughes, let's start with you. So if I wanted to put equation 2 here, what should I put here?
0.90,
Right.
I can't really read it, sorry.
9063. 9063, because that's the coefficient of T, because it would be 9063 times T. Brandon, what's the next one?
Negative 0.5.
Negative 0.5 times FBC, right, is equal to
100.
1,000, right?
1,000.
There's 1,000 there. So of these matrices, A, B, and C, which ones are known? Armando? So matrices A, matrices B, and matrices C, which one am I trying to solve for?
B.
B. I already know A, and I know C, but I need B. So I need to find B. So matrices B is equal to matrices C divided by matrices A. the way your calculator likes this written is radical, I mean not radical, matrices C times matrices A to the -1. Yeah, Peter?
A lot of the calculators just have an RREF function.
What's that?
Reduced row echelon form.
Oh,
So
okay.
you just build one big, rather than a 3x3, you do a 3x4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so each of the calculators do different ways, so you can find out what your calculator does. And it's either this or it's one way gives you an error message and the other way doesn't. But what you're trying to do is, in order to solve matrix B, it's matrix C times the inverse of A. And I'm not sure, does anybody know which one is the correct way? Has anybody plugged into matrices in the calculator yet?
Bottom one, I think.
It's the bottom one? So I think it's this one. Thanks, JJ. So on your calculator, you can either plug in the 2 by 2, two equations, two unknowns to get the values, or you can list it as a matrix in your calculator and solve it that way. Both of these are quicker than isolating the variables and plugging it into the other. In fact, I think what students have told me in the past, the quickest way on your calculator is actually to type in the two equations, because then you don't have to put it in the format of a matrices. But I want you to be able to do both ways.
Right, I missed the part when you're calculating A times B to get 0 and 1,000.
Sure. So how this works is this whole line here represents equation 1. So it's negative 4226 times T minus 8660 times FBC is equal to 0. That's how I'm translating from this equation to this. And then the second one is 0.9663 times T minus 0.5 times FBC is equal to 1,000. Okay? And now I'm going to have you set this up for the 3D problem we did. So we did in this problem with the truck, and it was on a stapled sheet. So pull that problem out. And when we got our three equations, oh, I have the solutions here, I was hoping to work on that. Everything's ready for you. See if you could do it without looking at my solution. So we had three equations, equation 1, 2, and 3. So take those equations and put it in the matrix form. Would we be working with the 2 by 2 matrix now? How many equations are we looking at here? Three equations and how many unknowns? The one on, there are three unknowns. So 3 equations, 3 unknowns. So we're going to have a 3 by 3 matrix. So I realize I have it, here already for you, but I'd like you to set it up. Just remembering that the first line represents the first equation, the next line would represent the second equation. Can I erase this? Everybody okay with erasing it? David, you still writing?
No, you're good.
So in this case, we're working with a 3 by 3 matrix. So you can work with the person next to you and work it out, or check what you did with the person next to you.